All right. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to day two of our session on Agentic AI and its applications. All right. So I think my voice is clear. We can proceed. So let us continue from where we have left off yesterday. Right. So we'll continue the concepts. So good evening, everyone. Yes. Yeah. Sure. So one important thing is you need not wait till I actually ask you to ask the doubts. You can just ping it in the chat. All right. I'll just take a every half an hour, 35 minutes. I'll just take a small gap in between to answer your questions. Okay. So if the questions are like too many, maybe in the middle I may stop, but not every time, because I also need the flow to teach the concepts, right? So it is also very important for me to continuously deliver the content which I'm supposed to do. So right, so you can just put it in the chat, whatever questions, because there are a lot of people might have a lot of chats, a lot of doubts. Actually, you can post it in the chat. Okay, all right. So let me continue the session. Okay. So I'll share the screen. Uh, Coder, yeah. Good evening, man. Yeah. MCQ test, I didn't say anything about MCQ test. I think Amar sir would have told. Anyway, fine. At the last, you will have an MCQ test, which will be uploaded in the LMS. Okay. So you have to, attend the test. A link will be shared for the MCQ test. You have to attend from your registered email ID. So you have to use the email ID. Don't change your email IDs. Okay. So attend from one email ID for all the sessions. Then only your attendance will be recorded. Even the test also, the test is very much mandatory. And both the test as well as your attendance will be considered for giving you the certificate. So it will be moderate. I would say easy to moderate only exam. No need not worry too much about the exam. Okay. I can say moderate. Okay. I never give too tough, or I never give just, very easy also. So it will be moderate always. Okay. Uh, right. So that's about the exam. It's an MCQ test. You need not code something, or you need not do any coding part. Okay, so that is not necessary. All right. So I think that's fine. I guess I think questions are done. We'll continue with the session. Okay. So let us start today's journey. Okay. In understanding the concepts of first some basics of generative AI. Then we can go with the okay, thank you so much, sir. Okay, right. Now, from where to be, link will be shared, Divyanshu. Link will be shared to you in the chat on the last day. From there, you have to give the exam. Okay. So there's a lot of time. Don't think too. This is just day two. Okay. So it will be an MCQ test. Okay. It's an online MCQ test. That's it only. You guys keep that in mind. It's enough. Uh, you know, uh, you'll be instructed later. Okay. So don't think too much on that, and don't focus on things which are not important right now. Okay. So important thing is for you to attend the session right now. Okay. So that is important. All right. So let us start the session. First of all, let me try and tell you about the evolution of AI and ML. Right. So we were talking about what is a generative AI and what is agentic AI, and what is the uh, you know differences between your generative AI as well as agentic AI, and how the world has evolved, or how the I would say that we didn't even go that much far, I guess, correct? So we just saw the differences between what is generative AI and what is agentic AI, right? And some real world analogy and just the program objectives, right? So we have not gone anything into the subject much, only the outer picture of what is agentic AI and generative AI is what we have discussed, right? So before going into too deep into the subject, let us first try and understand what is artificial intelligence first. Okay, so many people do not have the knowledge of what is AI first of all. Okay, so then comes the generative AI, then comes your agentic AI, right? Then your AI agents. So everything what we are going to talk then comes, right? So first of all, what is artificial intelligence and what is its evolution, right? So we are saying AI from, I would say, past 10 years this was very high, right? Maybe past 10 years, isn't it so? Right? We didn't hear the term AI very much. Okay, probably we would have heard, but we didn't hear it too much, isn't it so? We didn't hear it too much because there were a lot of advancements in the field of AI, but nothing much of so much of expertise systems, or we can say, that what we are kind of using right now, that much of element of artificial intelligence is not there, right? So now, why it has come into the limelight? Why it has come into the limelight, especially now in the 21st century, especially, and last 10 years, 10 to 15 years, so much so, right? This To answer this question, right, there is a lot of there's a lot of growth which happened in the field of artificial intelligence, right? So it started in the year 1950. So when you remember the word year 1950, the first thing which comes to mind is that was the time where the world was actually settling down from the world wars, right? Now you remember, you know, that 1945 is the year where world wars actually ended, correct? Now you can see it took 5 years to actually settle down, right? So what has happened in the world? It's a lot of destruction and all these things. After that, you can see the growth of how somebody. I'll just tell you about the test. Please focus on what you're supposed to focus. Okay. From my side, voice is fine. It's fine. I think it's from your side. Please check. Okay. It is fine. I think for others it is absolutely fine. Or else, somebody would have already texted me. Mm, you can just log it off and again log in. Just check your. Yes. Yes, yes, it is audible. It is fine only. Okay. So fine. So please let me continue. Okay, we have a lot of things to discuss. Okay. Okay. So that is where the foundation step, or the foundation stone for actually the artificial intelligence has been laid. Okay. So with this implementation, or with this foundation of, in the 1950s, where the AI has actually laid the foundation, right? But you can see the progress from 1950 to 2025. It is around 75 years, right? There were a lot of dark periods in the development of AI, right? There's a lot of dark era also, right? This was actually due to the lack of supercomputers. Okay, so when I say supercomputers, the computers what we are using kind of right now at home are not supercomputers. Supercomputers are something different, right? So the lack of that particular technology has slowed down the growth. That is the reason it took 75 years to reach this stage. Or else, at least maybe by 40, 50 years, we would have reached this stage, right? It is just the lack of supercomputers. Now, what is the evolution? What I was actually talking about. That means, the stage we are in the current stage. We are in the current stage where a agent, or let us not say agent also, because I didn't teach you much about AI agents right now. Probably we can say a machine. Okay, let us just stick to a very simple language, which is actually machine. Let us say a machine, where a machine is able to understand the data, a machine is able to replicate a human being, a machine is able to take a decision. So that is the generation we are in, right? So to a machine for doing this, right? Yesterday only, one person was asking me, so machine learning is very, it's a foundation stone for all this generative AI, agentic AI. Yes, absolutely. For the entire artificial intelligence, machine learning was the foundation step, right? So when I talk about the evolution of AI, right? So I think it's around 1980s. I'll just show you one image. So probably this might you know just refresh your memory. So in the 1980s, okay, if you see this image. Okay, so just I'll come to this image again. So in the 1960s, later to the 1960s to 1990s, there was a lot of AI winter. So AI winter is nothing but not major developments happened, but there were experiments conducted, but not major big inventions have happened in the field of artificial intelligence. Okay, so that is what AI winter was. There was a lot of years which there was an AI winter. So I'll show you one more image actually. Sorry. Huh. This image also tells you, you can see in the 1980s, right? So it was, the first foundation for where we have actually seen the machine learning part. After that, in the 2000s, we have seen the deep learning, right? So then after the foundation of deep learning only, the fate of artificial intelligence has actually changed. The fate of AI has changed after the 2000s. Now, and the complete structure or the complete way how we are looking right now, right? How we are looking at artificial intelligence, that something we can rely upon, the foundation for that, relying upon a machine to do something, is started in the year 2014 with the invention of GAN. That is what my breakthrough was. That was the very, very big breakthrough, particularly in the field of artificial intelligence. Okay, so I'll come to this images. Okay, so first, that is what the era of the 1980s of machine learning, and to the so from machine learning to develop machine learning and lay the foundation for deep learning, it took around 20-25 years from ML to deep learning. Now we are studying machine learning, deep learning. We are learning all the algorithms of machine learning. Then we are learning deep learning, right? And you are finding that okay, deep learning algorithms are more effective because machine learnings are this much limited, that much limited. You are just comparing them, but it took for people to do research and invent around 20 to 25 years it has taken for people. So now you imagine how much amount of technology was actually required for that growth. Okay, so this journey of what we are actually enjoying, right? The generative AI, the journey of generative AI and agentic AI and AI agents, what we are seeing right now was a very tough journey of a very tough 75-year of journey. Okay, so that is very important for us to understand. The next thing is we are talking about the key concept of generative AI, right? So we are talking about the sorry, we are talking about the keyword, that is what is generative AI, why it actually matters in the current day, right? So we are saying generative AI. Why does it matter? Okay, so I told you the journey that happened, all these years, right? And as I told you, this generative AI isn't just a buzzword. It is about way of life. I told you, that artificial intelligence is a way of life for us now. It's not just a tool. It is not just a tool. It is a way of life. So how we are doing things in our day to day is actually dependent upon artificial intelligence. So isn't it so? Will you agree with me or not? Agree or not? Yes, absolutely. So it is, we are relying heavily on AI to do a lot of things, and we are trying to rely on AI agents to make a decision also. That is what agentic AI is. So we are now ready to also give the decision making to the machine. That is what only we are doing. No, that is only agentic AI, right? Agentic AI is nothing but, goal based, right? Decision making based on the agents. The AI agents will take the decision for you. So even the decision making, even the you know to reach a certain goal, and the entire decision making also we are giving into the hands of artificial intelligence. That is what is agentic AI, right? Now, it is not the generative AI where we are in kind of right now. We are, taking lot of content, right? So, it is not just about, it's not just about image generation. It's not just about, text generation. It is about entirely, I would say, generating something new, which is, which was not there before, right? Even the model building from the real-time data, building a very good model was actually really difficult, really difficult. So in from that age of from that age of uh, you know from that age of machine learning, uh, to the upgraded version of what we are kind of doing right now, there is a lot of difference, right? So that is what we are actually going to talk about now. When we talk about the history and evolution of AI, that was the history, basic history, okay, to understand. uh, so, one simple line I've mentioned, probably many would like it actually. From a simple rule-based systems to models that can generate poems, images, and even software code, right? So many of us also take the code, isn't it so? Correct? So we also take the code, correct? And we are also using that particular code, correct? And we are implementing inside any programming language whatever we want, right? So it is also generating a new code as well. It is also giving something which is already there, or something which is new, right? So if you ask something, it is actually generating. That is why it is basically called as a generative AI. Now the next thing is, these are the timelines for, I also have, I showed you the images also. I'll go to that. Okay. So these are the timelines. So in a simple way, that in, rather than that particular image, this is more creative because, from the 50s, it has started. I told you, after the 65, 66, something like that, the growth was bit smaller, or I can say bit lesser. Okay. And at the starting, we had a rule-based systems, right? I think many people remember the Turing test, right? So Turing test is a test which is found by Alan Turing. So this is actually a test which, tries to prove to the machine that you are actually not a machine but a human being, right? This test, please select this images, right? You will be it will be asking you. So that particular test is also is actually called as a Turing test. So Turing test is nothing but you are proving a machine that you are actually not a machine, but you are a human being, because a machine is not supposed to be used by a machine. Yes, that is why. That is the rule. So it will check whether you are a machine or a human being. If you are a machine, it will not allow you to use it. Okay. So if it is a human being who is going to use, then only it will accept and allow you to use it. Okay. So for that only it will conduct a test whether, making a confirmation that are you actually a human being or not. That is only the Turing test. That was actually found in the 50s only. Okay. Till date we are using it. Okay. That much amount of advanced, I would not say advanced, I would say realistic, approach, which was, which laid the foundation, maybe I would say some 70 years ago, right? So, it was a realistic approach, and it is right now, still we are, using it. So let us say, in data science also, right? Not just data science, in artificial intelligence also, we are using many statistical methods which are actually found in the 1800s, right? So something which is around 200 years old. Best example is, Bayes theorem, right? So Bayes algorithm, Bayes classifier, which we use in machine learning, right? It is found by Thomas Bayes in the year 1830, I guess. So it's almost a 200-year-old theorem we are using as an algorithm in machine learning. So, you can say people at that time were intelligent, or they thought, that even this can be used in future. It might be, different ideas. People have different thoughts on this. Okay. But to think on this particular aspect of how, the people have actually developed these things, like for best example, like the person Alan Turing, right? So next is the expert systems, right? So expert system are one of the turning points, especially, in particularly in the field of medical diagnosis. Okay. Then in the late 1800s, actually, 1980s, we have seen the growth of machine learning, right? Because the machine learning concept is actually developed from statistical learning, right? So statistical learning, which was there from, I can say some 200, 300 years past or maybe more. So you have statistical learning that has been transformed, right, with a few things and made as machine learning. From there, the development of deep learning has come. From there, development of AI has come. So, man is going step by step, step by step, step by step to, to reach a certain level. And I told you that this 75 years of journey, this was the toughest journey, particularly in the field of AI, because there was no enough technology to do things. It was a very, very, very difficult journey for a lot of scientists. So 2012, it was the foundation and it was the turning point in the face of artificial intelligence, because the development of deep learning has transformed. If deep learning was not there, was not invented at that time, we would not even have seen this kind of generative AI or agentic AI right now. Okay. So that much of prominence. Once deep learning has come, lot of, research has been done in the field of, deep learning, especially by companies like Google, right? So especially companies like Google. So in 2017, 2017 was, is always my, favorite year for, especially in the field of generative AI and artificial intelligence. Why? Because 2017 was the year where the technology of transformers actually was introduced, or transformer, I would say, right? So, sir, what is this transformer, and why you're saying 2017 was a great year where, it laid the foundation for the generative AI era. So 2017 transformer came, and 2020 was the foundation for the generative AI era. So it's a fairly a young era. It's just a 5-year old era what we are actually in. So it's only a 5-year old era. So, sir, what is this transformer? Where, you're saying that it is a foundation, especially in the field of generative AI, right? So, transformer is a technology which is, a self-attention mechanism. Okay, so what is this self-attention mechanism? How transformer actually has developed from GANs and VAEs? What is a transformer? How it is used? Where it is used? Everything I will tell you. Okay, because it is part of AI, and all the agentic AI and AI agents actually use it. Okay, so you should be knowing something which is actually used as a part of, and after all, the I would say the session, the development program, we are doing it on agentic AI, right? So you should be knowing what is powering this agentic AI and how this transformer actually is contributing to the applications what we are using kind of right now as AI agents and agentic AI and generative AI. So it is very important to understand this. Okay. Now let us move to the timeline. Okay. I told now we'll come back to this timeline. So as I told, there are a lot of inventions which are made by different companies, right? And after the AI winter, that's basically called as AI winter. Winter doesn't mean it is cold. Okay, so winter in this, in this context is basically means that many starts happened. Okay, many starts, many inventions happened, but it always ended in a dead end. Okay, or we can say it is like a you know uh, I can say no direction, right? The inventions went in, it didn't have any direction. Okay, so there were ideas to implement something, but due to lack of technology, because the situation, no, even when you just remember computers from, I would say, uh, let us not go too back also. Let us just go 15 years back. Let us just go 15 years back, right? But why I'm saying 15 years is back is that isn't where the, if you say, if you think about the processor companies like Intel, right? So, we are currently in the 14th generation, 15th generation processors will be launched, right? And if you see carefully, if you go back this 15 years, there are no I processors, right? So, and these I processors had, bit of deep learning, right? It might be processors, it might be graphic cards. They had bit of deep learning as well, right? So 2012 was the year deep learning was found. And now I'm talking about 15 years back in 2010. So before 2010, so do you think there is deep learning available in the world? Absolutely not. There is no deep learning. So since there is no deep learning, the computations, the permutations, how the computers actually work, okay, that was completely different. So let us not go too back also, just go back 15 years back. And if you go another 10 to 15 years back, you'll be able to figure it out that, you know, you used to, maybe any old computers, if you see, you might, this generation, you guys might not see, some old computers. But if you go back to the very old computers with CRT monitors, you will see that the processors are very, very slow. The RAM is very less. Now with at least 16 GB or 32 GB of RAM, we are not working. We used to have 2 GB, 1 GB, 500 MB of RAM in those days, right? So that from that generation to what we are in, because there is no technology which is available to mankind to develop artificial intelligence. So this is what, that's why I told the journey of AI, it is a very, 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 very tough journey which has happened. Okay, so for computation, for doing things, a lot of things, everything was manual because there is no a computer with that much of ability to do all these things. Then once the 21st century has entered, there were a lot of advancements, right? Especially like the 2011 Apple Siri. So it was a very important, it was actually developed on machine learning because it didn't have deep learning at that time itself. So after that, Alexa, then Tay, AlphaGo, then we are seeing Google Assistants, right? Google Gemini, all these things we are actually seeing in the current generation. So this is a brief history, and in this much I'm not going to touch upon. Not much because almost everything we have covered. But one important thing, as I told you, that the foundation for something called as GANs. Okay, so GAN is nothing but generative adversarial networks. So this was actually the foundation for the generative AI part. And it was, I would say, it is a framework which has laid the foundation for generative AI. But but 2017 transformer technology was the one which actually took generative AI to the next level. Took generative AI to the next level. Okay, so that was the great achievement what has happened in the field of generative AI. So let us see a few key milestones. Okay, so first I took the company about OpenAI because many of you know about ChatGPT, correct? Many of you are aware of ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is actually a product of OpenAI. It is actually a product of OpenAI. So OpenAI is actually a company, right? It's a US based company which has started working on from 2018 till 2025 till now, right? It's like till date. Okay, so it's, don't think it's closed. Okay, it's there. It is till date. Okay, so just I have mentioned 2025, that's why. Okay, so the first, the models which we are using is, the ChatGPT 1, ChatGPT 2 were actually an utter failure. They were utter failure actually. That is why, in 2018, ChatGPT, 2018, 2019, 2020, ChatGPT has not come into the public. Because ChatGPT 1, ChatGPT 2 or GPT-1, GPT-2 models, okay, are actually a failure models. Okay, the success happened for the GPT models. Okay, from 2021, 2022 it has started, because that's where the foundation for GPT-3 has been laid. So GPT-3, 3.5, then 4, and now what we are using is 4.0. So 4.0 is literally a part of generative AI. Okay, so that was the a development or advancements in the field of OpenAI. Now Google, right? So everybody knows Google. So Google uses one particular method called as BERT. Okay, so BERT, I will tell you in very detail. It's a bidirectional approach. Okay, so why in 2018 itself Google was able to launch the BERT technology in the world. Okay, technology means it's not something you can go and buy. Okay, it's not that. It is not like a mouse, laptop. It's not like that. So it is a context based understanding technology which has been powered by the concept of transformer. So because it was easily accessible by Google, because Google was the one who found the concept of transformer. So once Google has found the concept of transformer for using for generative AI, it was very easy for Google to start something which it can be used, right? The research and development team has focused on something called as a technology called BERT. So the Google searches, whatever which you use right now. Okay, so I don't know how many of you remember exactly, but if you remember Google search before 2018 and after 2018, you will be able to figure it out, because I remember using it. So that is why I'm able to link that in my mind. Okay, so why I'm telling you 2018 and 2018 later, because once the BERT has been it has been launched by Google into the Google search, it is able to understand the context. So context based searching is what the revolution what has happened inside the Google search. So before 20, I remember, the we used to not get something which is very related now, but if you search something, it actually gives you very accurate results. Right? This just happened last, I would say last 4 to 5 years, it has become very high, right? And last 7 years, if you see also, there's a lot of difference. after the BERT technology. BERT technology is actually related to that of context-based understanding by the model. It's a context-based understanding. Now, here if you see some message. Okay, good question, but in this situation, okay. One particular question. One particular question is I got, okay. So I'll not mention any name, but one question I got, like somebody was asking me that what is exactly deep learning? Okay. To answer I would say in a very simple way. Okay, let us not go too much. Let us not complicate too much. In a simple way to understand deep learning is a type of machine learning. Okay, which relies heavily on the neural networks. Okay, which it actually relies on neural networks. Okay, it relies on neural networks. So what is neural network in a very easy or a simple way is neural network is something where which is models are developed on the basis of actual neurons. So I think everybody knows what is a neuron, right? So at school level science you would have studied, right? So we all have neurons, right? So based on the real-time neurons, how they function, right? A model which is actually very close to the neural networks or real life neurons. Okay, so a particular model has been developed that is called as the artificial neural network, or we can say ANN. Okay, so it is artificial neural network. Okay, it is exactly like the neurons in your head. Okay, the same functionality. For that, lot of modifications are done. Okay, so why deep learning is more effective is uh, especially deep learning is applied on data which is non-linear. Okay, machine learning is applied to data which is linear. Okay, there are models in machine learning like the decision tree, random forest, which are actually tree based models which are used for building the non-linear relationship also. But neural networks capture this non-linearity, and I think you know the difference between linear and non-linear. So linear is something where which can be when you point the data, when you plot the data points, if you are able to get a straight line, it is basically a linear. So something, data points are scattered over, you're not able to put it into a straight line, it becomes a non-linear. So majority of the ANN full form is artificial neural networks. Artificial neural networks. Okay, so it is actually based upon the real life neurons. Okay, no problem. So if you see carefully, why it is very effective compared to regular machine learning is they capture the non-linearity in the data. And when you see the real-time data sets, what people are using to train for especially generative AI, most of them are non-linear because the data will not be according to our convenience. No, we have to build the model according to the data's convenience. Isn't it so? So we should actually build a model in such a way that it is more effective for generating or for model building, right? Whether you're using it for generative AI or you're using it for predictive analytics, it doesn't matter, right? So its ability to capture this non-linearity is what makes deep learning methods more effective. Okay, deep learning is a very 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 new technology. Even the founder of deep learning is still alive. Okay, so even the founder is actually alive. Okay, so it is a very new technology, and compared to machine learning, I think machine learning you can say it's around some 40-45 year old, 40 years at least. But deep learning is fairly new, probably around some 13 to 15 years. Okay, so there are a lot of advancements happening. Once the deep learning has come only, then only the ability of AI systems actually increased. Okay, so how how things are actually trained. Those things have actually changed. Uh, so basically, it works and things like human. What is it exactly you're saying? You're saying AI or deep learning? Deep learning is actually a model. Model. A model cannot think on its own, and it cannot do anything on its own. It's just a model, which is actually it is basically I would say it is actually a model. So can you rephrase the question, Anurag? I don't know. Uh, you're just saying that what is AI or deep learning? I didn't get you correctly actually. So it is basically it's just a model, right? So for that you need some advancements that a machine. Deep learning, no, deep learning is just model. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, it's for everybody who doesn't know. Okay, those who know what is deep learning, it's absolutely fine. So it's actually a model. It's just a model. Okay, so it is just a model, to build something to train and test the data or evaluate or predict. Okay, but for generative AI to generate something, first of all, it needs data and then it has to build a model. From there only it can take forward. For example, when you, a very small example, I'll just, close this because I have to continue. If you think about agentic AI, what we were discussing. So in agentic AI, right, first of all, the data should be collected, right? From the data, a model should be built, right? After the model is actually built, it should be in a position to use that particular model to achieve a certain goal, right? Or to make a decision making. So don't you think all the deep learning methods or all the AI methods are actually related to agentic AI? Absolutely, they are related. Absolutely, they are related. That is why I was telling, without deep learning, the situation where we are in, right, in generative AI and agentic AI, it is not possible. It is not possible where we are in. Okay, so that is the whole picture of what it is. So demand. Yes, it's absolutely, there is a very high demand for that. So deep neural network, deep learning, NLP data I'm currently learning in some subjects. Explain this add-on and message. Okay, great. Deep learning, NLP. Okay, good. Okay, so ChatGPT. ChatGPT. I'll come there. Good. ChatGPT is a generative AI model. It's a generative AI model. All the generative AI models uses deep learning. Huh. All the agentic AI models or all the AI agents are agentic AI models, and agentic AI models use the generative AI. Generative AI uses the deep learning. Deep learning uses the data. So yes, it is all interlinked. That is what I'm trying to tell you. It's all interlinked. Agentic AI is not a separate concept which has, just landed from somewhere. No, absolutely not. That is why only I told you the evolution of AI, because the the thing which we are in, agentic AI or AI agents, that is a 75-year-old journey. That is what I'm trying to tell you. It's not just something, agentic AI is not something you just, something it came from the sky. We have just, we are learning it. No, it's not that. It's completely linked to deep learning, machine learning, statistics, mathematics, everything. It is linked. All the models, computer science also, many people would have studied about, graph theory, all those things, right? In AI also, you would have studied, ZOR models, ZOR problems, right? So all these bidirectional searches, everything you would have studied, right? So it is all interlinked. It is all in, example of agentic AI I've already given, man, yesterday only. I've already given. So, so it's all interlinked. So it is not just something which is completely different. That is what I'm trying to interact and tell you guys. Okay, it's not something you think that it is a separate concept. Absolutely not. Okay. Now, once when I was after what I was telling you about the bird, there is the next one, which is the DALI, right? So DALI is one of the applications, AI applications, which is actually used for generating the images. I think you guys will be using a lot of image generation. Okay. So for that, lot of computing power is actually required. Okay. So you're just generating the image. You need a lot of hardware to generate this. Okay. And lot of generative AI models are required to generate all these things. Okay. So yes. So next is the stability or stable diffusion. So diffusion models are also very important. They are mostly open source. There are a few applications which actually charge you as well, right, for premium experience. So then the Llama. So everybody knows this Llama because most of you are Meta users, right? So you use Facebook and Instagram, right? All the AI applications inside the Meta, which is inside the Meta company, which is Facebook and Instagram, right? All the AI applications, which is or the AI models which are used, are based upon the concept of Llama. Okay. So next is we have moved from machines followed instructions to machines from to just to machines learning from data and now creating content, right? So whatever training we have actually given, right, on that training, now they are in a position to generate content also, correct? So that is where we have advanced, our journey as well. So this leap from predictive AI to generative AI is what enabling the next wave of productivity and creating or creativity across the domains. Okay, so this is the advancements what we have actually achieved. So, a small question for you. How many of you have used ChatGPT or DALI before? Definitely, many people would have, if it is a, offline class, I would have seen a lot of people raising your hands. So since online, I'm not able to see you guys. But, how many of you know that ChatGPT is a generative AI tool? Okay. So I think many people were yesterday also were asking, sir, is ChatGPT an AI agent or it's an agentic AI? Absolutely not. It's not. ChatGPT is a generative AI tool. ChatGPT is a generative AI tool. It's not an AI agent or an agentic AI. Okay. Now, so for what you would have used? Maybe some content generation. And how many of you know that ChatGPT or DALI is or it works on prompt engineering? It works on the principle of prompt engineering. So that means you give a prompt. Based on the prompt, it will understand the context, how it will understand that prompt engineering concept also. I told you, I will tell you, I will tell you once the time comes. Okay. So it is actually depending upon the prompt. The prompt what you are giving, it is breaking down into different pieces. It is trying to understand the context and then it will generate the output what you are actually looking for. Okay, so that is what this application such as ChatGPT or DALI is basically about. So DALI is basically for image generation, ChatGPT is for text. Okay, now let us see what is OpenAI first of all, and how the OpenAI has actually contributed to that of the generative AI part. So before that, I'll just take, I think I have a few questions. Okay, yes, sir. Okay, that is not a question. ChatGPT, yes, definitely you would have used. What's the difference between Gemini AI and ChatGPT? Even Gemini AI is a generative AI model. What is the difference means? If you ask me what is the difference, I'll tell you Gemini AI is Google's, ChatGPT is OpenAI. That's it only, no? What difference will be there? They are both generative AI tools. Both are generative AI tools only. Okay, something which is or something which can be generated, right? That is all uh, you know see, for example, when you say AI agent, right? AI assistants, I have actually given you some examples also yesterday, right? So when we speak about AI agents, all right, so we can say that AI agent doesn't generate anything. Okay, but it uses the technology what generative AI and everything is actually using it. It will use, but it is not actually, see, each individual thing has its own way of doing things. Correct? Right? So you do PhD or you do masters in one subject only, right? So even PhD is not done in one subject, it is done on one concept. The same way, the same way, generative AI is built for generation, something to generate, whether it is text or whether it is images, it is there to generate. Now, if you say AI agents, they are there to do a particular task, a goal-oriented task, or a decision-making task. So they are there to do something which they want to do, right? Then why we are discussing about generative AI also in the agentic AI? Because there is a relationship between generative AI and agentic AI. That is what I was trying to tell you. It is not agentic AI is something which has come from the sky. It's not like that, right? It has a relationship with artificial intelligence, and especially with the generative AI, it has a relationship. So that we are trying to understand. Then we will go very deep into the agentic AI part. Okay, so that is what I'm trying to communicate with you guys. Okay, I got a few questions. So what do they do in prompt engineering? Prompt engineering is nothing but how to give a successful prompt to achieve something is what prompt engineering is about. I'll tell you what are the things which have to be focused. I think on day 3 or day 4, I'll just take up the prompt engineering part. Okay. I'll tell you because that is a very important concept which has to be discussed very early. Okay. So what measure differences between agentic AI and generative AI? Yesterday itself, I told Ankit. I think you have missed the first session, I guess, probably. Because yesterday, after the intro, I was actually focusing first about the agentic AI and generative AI only because I knew that a lot of people will have a lot of doubts on this particular aspect. So that what it is exactly and what is the difference between them, how we can actually, for what we have to use what is the exact difference between them. All right, so that's why I've taken that. Even before the program objectives, I started with that. All right. So going into the part where particularly companies like OpenAI, right? So OpenAI is actually being founded by 3 people, right? Especially 3 people. Okay. There are co-founders also, but the 3 people who have mostly gave their research and development for finding it is Elon Musk, Sam Altman, and Greg Brockman. Okay, even this Ilya Sutskever is also there. So 4 people I can say, and there are actually many. Actually, the list goes on because it's not just a company just which can be found by 1 or 2 people. So it's a very big. It's like a very big intelligence company which is actually found to benefit the humanity. So it's a very big artificial intelligence and research company, I would say. So OpenAI is one such company, and even NVIDIA is also very big company, particularly in the field of research of artificial intelligence. Okay, so talking about the artificial general intelligence, right? OpenAI strives for alignment, safety, and transparency in the development of AI systems. So many of you know ChatGPT, but many of you don't know that it belongs to a company called OpenAI. Okay, so OpenAI has a lot of sub branches. It is, I would say, it is fairly a 10-year-old company. I can say it's not even just 10 years, but almost 10 years old company, maybe 9.5 years. So the next thing is to identify the timelines. Sorry, the timelines. I told you, 2018 and 2019 were disasters actually in the history of OpenAI because their models GPT-1 and GPT-2 were utter failure. Okay, so GPT-3 was the foundation of ChatGPT, where that was actually released into the public. Okay, in 2022. So 2020 was the year ChatGPT was a success actually. Okay, but it took another 2 years for OpenAI to bring it onto the public. Okay, and 2023 is where ChatGPT 4 has come and the concept of DALI. Before DALI was actually another company. So it was actually it got merged, or I would say it has come with terms with the OpenAI. So once the DALI has come, the structure of entire this I would say the ChatGPT has actually changed. And in 2024, GPT-4o, which is O, it's nothing but Omni. It's a real multi-model which is there. Now, what are the unique features in this generative AI model, which is in the form of ChatGPT? So the first point is the reinforcement learning. So how many of you know what is a reinforcement learning, right? So we have three kinds of learnings in machine learning, right? So one is supervised, unsupervised, right? And reinforcement learning. Yes. So that reinforcement learning is only this generative AI model. So reinforcement learning is nothing but it actually learns on its own, right? That is what the foundation for this generative models as well as the AI agents or the agentic AI, right? So agents learning on their own. Okay, so agents learning on their own is what the reinforcement learning is about. Okay, so it is based upon feedback based learning, right? And next is the capped profit model, which is return for investments in capped to prioritize the safety. Then partnership with Microsoft. This was the biggest breakthrough what has happened for ChatGPT. So how many of you know that Copilot, Azure provides the cloud infrastructure. Copilot is integrated into the Microsoft Office. And the Copilot, which is integrated here, you can see the Copilot, which is actually integrated into the Microsoft Office, is actually powered by Microsoft as well as OpenAI. And now you can see this Copilot, Microsoft Copilot, being integrated into the Microsoft Office. Actually, now it's called as Microsoft 365, Dynamics 365, right? Or Microsoft 365, we can say. I think we can say Microsoft 365, right? So there we have the integration of MS Office, or you can say the Copilot. So ethical and safety focus, it is mostly focused on AI alignment, interpretability, and policy, right? So why particularly took the name of OpenAI, especially is because OpenAI was one of the first companies to prioritize generative AI and agentic AI. So they are the one of the pioneers even before Google was doing research, but even before Google laid the foundation, right? These people were into it, right? But there was more failure than success, especially for the OpenAI. But there was a lot of success when there are a certain models which has been launched by other companies. So next is ChatGPT. I think definitely everybody knows what is a ChatGPT, right? And let us just, I think I have a questions. Frame general intelligence, right? So it is basically for advanced intelligence only. Okay, penalty reward concept. This penalty reward concept is reinforcement learning. That's what you are telling, no? Harsh. Yeah, it is based upon what to say self-learning based on its reward points. That is why if you see, even the even the ChatGPT, or you can think of even this one. Even this one also asks actually. Google Gemini also. Google Gemini, they ask for feedback. They are because they are generative AI models. No, so it will take the feedback because after all, they are reinforcement learning models. No, every reinforcement learning model will take feedbacks. Okay, so for example, in ChatGPT, if you're satisfied with the answer, if you appreciate by putting a like, or if you just put something that yeah, it was a great answer or something like that, it will try to be happy, and it will actually try to. It's not a human being to be happy, but it will try to make sure that for this particular kind of framing of a prompt, because you feel that what you're giving in ChatGPT is a question, you are getting an answer, but it is actually not a question. It is a prompt. Okay. That is why only we need to understand what is a prompt engineering. That is why I told you. So it is actually a prompt. They work on prompt based, not question answer based. So it is actually relying on the prompts. Okay. So since it is a prompt and it is a reinforcement learning based learning, it will try to take the feedback. It will try to take the feedback. So based on the feedback, it will try to improve the model. Okay. That is why only it basically takes the feedback. Okay. I think probably now you would have understood what is actually it is doing. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll just go for a short break. Okay. And we'll continue. Okay. All right. So welcome back, guys. So let us continue. Okay. All right. So right. So we have to talk about the Chat GPT, right? So we are supposed to do that. Now, as I told you, it is actually a generative AI, correct? Now, to justify that it is a generative tool, okay? I'm just waiting for the right time because a lot of people were asking me, sir, it is not an agent, something like this, okay? The full form of GPT itself is generative pre-trained transformer. Okay, so many of you don't know this, right? So you only know that GPT, maybe Chat GPT. Okay, it's a chatting tool, or it's an agent. It is basically a generative tool which is actually based on the technology of a transformer. Okay, so I told you, what is a transformer. I will tell you in detail. Okay, don't just wait for just bit of time. Okay, I'll tell you what is a transformer in detail. First of all, sorry, first of all, to understand what is a transformer, you need to first understand about what is GAN, then what is VAE, then the third level is what the transformer is. If I directly tell what is a transformer, it will be very difficult for you, okay, to grasp that knowledge. So that is why, step by step I'm going. Okay. So now, if you clearly understand that the GPT itself is about generative pre-trained transformer. So I think now it is very clear for everybody that ChatGPT is a generative AI tool. It's not an agentic AI or an AI agent. Okay, all right, great, good to go. Now, it basically uses the natural language processing or natural language dialogue. That is why, I was telling you a very key word, which is called as the prompt engineering. That means it uses the language, right? The models are built in such a way that it uses the language which is helping it to learn, understand, and give reply. Okay, so you are giving the text in English, right? So it is using English language for the natural language processing. So natural language processing is nothing but a language which is used for the machine to understand. So, for example, if you and I should communicate, right? We are communicating in English now, right? Why we are communicating in English? Because English is a common language which everybody is actually speaking, right? So, if there is a certain language, for example, like a Hindi, Kannada, Telugu, Malayalam, right? Oriya, Bengali. So, if this any of these languages are, fully global, right? We would have used that, right? But unfortunately, due to Britishers, we are using English. Okay, so because that became the universal language, so that is why we are communicating in English. Correct. Now, if you want a machine to understand, right, that is what we are giving a certain model or a certain type of a feature or a kind of technology. That is what we are calling it as natural language processing. So how a machine can understand human language and how it can actually process based on a certain request. That is what is, because you're writing a prompt in English, no? How will a machine understand? That is what is natural language processing. So the generative AI, you guys didn't think that much, no? Sir, we are typing in English, no? Okay, we expect machine to understand. That is not possible, man. In school days only, you would have learned, no? Machine only understands something which is written in zeros and ones. It will communicate in zeros and ones only. You forgot the basic thing which is taught to you in school, right? So it is very important that the machine understands the language, right? That is why for it everything is numbers. Okay, so it is going to, let us not go to the the basics of a computer. Leave that. Okay, so talking about how the machine can understand what we have actually given, that is what this natural language is actually about. Now, to understand this is this generative model, which is the generative pre-trained transformer. For that, this basically it is used, and we are calling as chat generative pre-trained transformer because it is a conversational agent. Like how you are chatting with your friend, you will chat with the right. You're chatting with the AI tool, right? So you're chatting with the AI tool, correct? So that is why it has become a conversational AI. This is the this is the meaning of why it has been named as Chat GPT. There is a reason for that. Randomly they have not put a GPT word, and randomly they have not put a chat word. Okay, since it is conversing with a human being, it becomes chatting, right? So, and GPT, on what it is built is the generative pre-trained model. So it is pre-trained transformer model. So based on that, they have named it as ChatGPT. Now I think everybody will be clear that why it is named like that. It is named like that because of the technology which is used. Okay, and currently we are in 4.0. Everybody knows that. Most of you guys use ChatGPT Plus, ChatGPT Pro also, or maybe a free account also. You're pretty much aware of the models it is actually building. And you can access ChatGPT through chat.openai.com, right? And you also have this integration of ChatGPT into the Microsoft Copilot. I think many of you know what is Microsoft Copilot. It is actually an AI tool, a conversational generative AI tool, which is actually built by Microsoft. Okay. Now, let us go to the next part, which is the conversational memory. So why we are calling it as chatting is, or chat GPT is, it actually remembers everything. Like how you're chatting with your friend, you remember what he has texted, and then you will text it back. No, like the same thing, how you text it, how you ask something as a prompt, it is going to give you a reply, and it is going to remember that particular prompt what you have given, and it will add to that model. So in that way, it will remember the context, it will remember the past interactions, because it is a transformer. Okay, so how it is remembered and all, I'll tell you, because this entire transformer is based upon context-based and self-attention mechanism. That even the practical part also, I will show you how this self-attention mechanism works also. Okay, just be patient. I'll just tell you in very much detail. Okay, so what this can actually browse, it can generate anything, right? It can read text, it can read something from the web, it can read, interpret, it can analyze, right? All these things are possible with ChatGPT. It's not just that many AI tools can actually do that, but this image generation, text generation, I would say ChatGPT has become more famous, right? So there will be many tools, but some might be very effective in actually generating a few things. So you can actually rely upon those. So next is some of the use cases. I think this use cases need not discuss that much, because already you are aware of many things what a ChatGPT can actually do, correct? So you can it can solve problems, it can write a stories for you, it can debug a piece of code, it can read a PDF, it can write, right? It can give you jokes, so it can you do some analysis, right? Whatnot, correct? Now, next is safety and ethics. As already discussed, every time I'll be particularly concerning a tool, definitely I will mention the ethics which can be used inside AI. So it's a very important thing which we have to be careful in using certain tools. Okay, it is very important to where we don't do any violations, especially. Okay, so next is, let us, how many of you remember this image? So how many of you remember this image? Try to remember it. In the meanwhile, I have a few questions. I'll just take it up. What does it mean that ChatGPT is integrated with Copilot? Yes, good question. You have ChatGPT as a separate tool, isn't it so? Correct? You are using ChatGPT separately, correct? Yes. Now, you have Microsoft Copilot, which has been developed by Microsoft. Isn't it so? How many of you know Copilot, Microsoft Copilot? If you're not knowing, then if you have never seen in your life Microsoft Copilot, then it is very difficult. But if you know what is a Copilot, definitely it will ring you a bell. Okay, and I'll tell you one thing why it has integrated with OpenAI. Why it has integrated with OpenAI? Because Microsoft doesn't have much of AI team like how Google has. This is one secret which I should not tell openly. So it doesn't have that AI team like how Google has. Google has a particular team which is called as Google's brain team. Okay, so Google's brain team, the mastermind behind this Google's brain team is Sundar Pichai. Actually, everybody knows Sundar Pichai, right? He is like he is a living he's a living alien among human beings because he's very, very intelligent. Actually, after he became the CEO, Google has risen to a next level. Uh, you know, Microsoft dominates in a lot of fields, but when it comes to artificial intelligence, no one can dominate Google actually. That is true because the technology which is built by Google only, a lot of other companies are using it, developing their own. Even your GPT, what you are using, you have seen, no? Generative pre-trained transformer. The transformer is developed by Google itself. Since after Google has, found the technology of a transformer, then only OpenAI was able to use that technology in their ChatGPT models. Till then, nobody was able to use that much amount of technology till Google's brain team has found. So you have a lot of I would say AI based team I would say. If I have to rank the based on AI based teams, I will rank Google as the top company because it has a biggest brain team that no other company has. The next I will rank Nvidia has the next bigger brain team uh, you know on this artificial intelligence. Microsoft doesn't have that actually. Many people think Microsoft is well equipped with artificial intelligence. It is not actually. It is very poor at artificial intelligence. That, that that is the reason. That is the reason they have actually teamed up with OpenAI. That is the reason they have teamed up with OpenAI. And their even Copilot tool uses, OpenAI's GPT models only to give you the output. So if you see the outputs, in ChatGPT and, if you see in Copilot, there will be a bit similar. Actually, for just text generation, Copilot is not that good. For some analysis, something like that, it is good, but not that great when it comes to ChatGPT because it has teamed up with a third party. I would say it has teamed up with some other company. So these are some of the things which are uh, not exactly, but in a few things I like it, especially how they transformed Copilot in Excel. I don't know how many of you have used Copilot in Excel. Copilot in Excel is actually a wonderful addition to Microsoft Excel. It's a wonderful addition. I love it. Literally, I love it so much because if you are using Copilot inside Microsoft Excel, you can answer questions like how you do it in Power BI. I don't know how many of you are aware of Power BI. You have something called as Q&A, right? So if you give a certain question, you'll get the answer using the web inside the it will use the web, Microsoft Power BI. So the same way they have enclipped an AI tool itself into Microsoft Excel to make Excel more adaptive and more enthralling and really good for users. So in that you can do some analysis, and the way the analysis is done and how the way does the analysis, the formula generation, the chart generation, it adds to a new sheet also. I would not say Copilot is completely dumb. That is not true also, but it has its own, I would say, own methods. Um, it's kind of okayish, but uh, not that great. Not that great. Many of you actually don't use Google Gemini, but I have seen Google Gemini's pro version in action. It is more sophisticated. It's actually really costly. That's a problem. I think it's around 2,000. I think in India, it's yeah, per month. Even the ChatGPT Plus costs the same, around 2,000. But Google Gemini is also really good actually. It's really good. Google has developed a lot. I told you, this AI technology, Google always has that one step ahead. In some of the few things it fails. Some nonsense here and there they will do. So that is part of that. But you can see that Microsoft Copilot is compared to Google. I will not give my Copilot that how much. In a lot of areas, Microsoft will compete with Google, but in a few areas, Google always wins actually. Okay, so there is always a war between them. Okay, let us not go to the war between companies and what. Let us not go into business side. Let us keep this, because why I had to take this all, because they are premium partners, or I would say they are premium leaders in the AI industry. What to do? So we have to take up the names of OpenAI, Nvidia. We have to take Google. We have to take these names especially. Okay, I will not take in particularly AI. I will not take Microsoft name. I will take only OpenAI. I will take Google, right? I will take Nvidia. So these three only I will take. Okay. These has to be taken because what we are calling it as agentic AI, AI agents, generative AI, these are the main players in the market. Whether you like it or not, these are the big players who are doing all the research and development, and they are coming with new technologies which we are using kind of right now. So you're saying ChatGPT, you're using OpenAI. So it's like that. Things are like that. Using Copilot and using Excel sheet into dashboard creation. Yes, Harsh. Yes, that's what Copilot inside Excel is good. Even you can use it in Power BI also. It is good for dashboard creation, visualization. Yes, it is not. It is very good. I'm not going to go in very much detail because this is not an Excel or a Power BI session. But just regard, because even what is happening inside there is also artificial intelligence, and after all, we're talking about the AI which is powering all the AI agents, or agentic AI and generative AI. So I had to take the examples of that to make you to understand. Yeah, good. You are using it. It is effective inside Excel and Power BI. It's good. Even I'm a big fan of that. So yeah. Why Meta doesn't remember? That means why you don't remember Meta? I don't know. I'm not kind of that much of Meta fan, but I'm not that great Meta fan. I don't see it in the top leading industry actually. So when you use what are the contributors, you can see Google, OpenAI, and uh, you know Nvidia in the main list. Okay, so why Meta? I don't know. He's a member of Illuminate. He's a member of Illuminate. Okay, who is this Wally you're saying? Okay, there is a reason I've put this picture. I'll come to that. In the meanwhile, I have a lot of questions. I'm taking that. Is it about an animated film, Wall-E, and it's a last robot left on Earth to clean the garbage left on the Earth? Yes, absolutely, man. Absolutely, super. Vidhi, oh sorry, sorry, Vidhi, you're a girl. Okay. So yes, absolutely. And the reason why I have actually mentioned Wally is there's a reason for that. The reason is, right. The reason for this basically is, right. Uh, the reason for this is everybody knows this word wall E. They could have put wall E, right? There is a dot between wall and E. I don't know how many of you have watched the movie. Okay, it's a Disney Pixar movie. Pixar is the team inside, it's like how in Google we have, Google's brain team. The same way in Disney, they have a team called as Pixar. So they create these movies. Okay. So why I have specifically mentioned this image is because of this. The thought behind launching of DAL-E is this only. It's the, the foundation has been actually laid by the fellow called as Salvador Dali. Yes. So based on his name, Dali, D-A-L-I, yes, it has been named as D-A-L-L dot. In the name of Wall-E, they have taken that E as Dali. Okay. That is the, thought behind, because he's the artist who drew, because it's basically animation is nothing but pictures in motion. So he has designed this creative and automative tool or automation, which is actually, which has actually been transformed as a movie. Okay, so why I have taken is because so it has been shared, Kirti. You can just watch. I think Amar sir will share it in the group. You have to be careful. You have to be ready in the link, and you can get the attendance. So few years before itself, Wally and Eva are the robotic characters in the movie. Yeah. Let us not go into the movie, but I just wanted to just refresh your memory. A lot of Disney fans are there. Even I am one. So just to refresh your memory, this is what was the foundation for launching of DALI. Okay, so it was I told you, everything is interconnected. Okay, and OpenAI has actually taken over this particular DALI technology. Okay, and it is actually now being developed by OpenAI, and and as I told you, even this DALI is basically a GPT model. Okay, and it is based upon the transformer architecture. Okay, so I'm keeping the transformer concept as a surprise for you. I will tell you it. I'll tell you. Okay. So this is basically dependent upon the concept of a transformer, which is a pre-trained model. Okay. So this is about the DALI part. Now let me go to the next part, which is the versions of DALI. Okay. And 2021-22 was not that great. Individually, DALI was not that success, but integrating it with ChatGPT has actually, I would say, has transformed, because now DALI looks extremely, I would say extremely, or I would say in a simple terms that it has more sophisticated, has more creative things, right? And it also can generate very good images as well, because after all, it's a generative model, correct? Now, how does it work? It works on the prompts. Okay, so it uses a transformer to embed the prompt. To understand the prompt, it needs the transformer. I told you, transformer is a context-based self-attention mechanism. That line you remember right now. In detail, I will tell you also, and we will also see transformer in action. It is a right it is a prompt, I can say, or a context based, right? It's a context based. So how, which context you are asking, that prompt it will understand. That is very important. No, I think a lot of people don't take this very seriously, because they feel that we are giving up. Okay, sir, no, we give a question, it gives an answer. Okay, fine, done. First of all, it is not a question, it is a prompt. And second thing is, understanding the prompt, what you have given, especially what context you are giving. What is the context? What is the prompt about? And how, which it has to link and it has to give an output. That job will be done by a transformer. So now, don't you think transformer is a very important technology? Yes. Without transformer, first of all, your prompt will not be understood by the GPT model only. It will put a question mark face. That is why you should respect a transformer. Transformer is a technology, it's a framework which is making the context to be understood by the model, which context you are asking, what is the word, how it can be linked, and how it can give you a reply based on what prompt you have actually given. This entire job will be done by a transformer. It is like a bridge connecting two places. All right. Next is image generation. And for image generation, we are using the diffusion models. Then we have something called as a clip model as well, right? Which actually generates images. So let us go to the next thing, which is feature of DALI. I think everybody would have used DALI, right? I think many of you are aware of it. DC versus Marvel. Okay, let us not go there, Habib. Okay. Sir, I know this one's a very waste allocated load lifter earth class. Okay, yes. That's what to cheer you up. I've added that. I could have just told Dali it's been derived from just, but I wanted to have your concentration as well. So that is why I've added that picture. I kind of it cheers you up, and it will those who know Disney will it will cheer you guys up. Okay, all right. Going to the next part, which is the features of, I would say the features of DALI, right? There are certain features which are actually embedded, right? That the first thing is to understand. That is where we are talking about the natural language understanding, because even when you are giving a prompt and that prompt is actually converted into an image, because DALI basically is used for prompt to image conversion, or you can say text to image conversion, right? So now it is integrated with ChatGPT, that everybody knows. And next is the oil like painting, pixel arts. All these things are also being adapted into the DALI. So the use cases are, I think you have used for many use cases. For example, like gaming world, education, also fashion designing, storytelling, right, and marketing and advertising. So different people will have different requirements, and you can actually get it, right. So you have even you have many AI tools which can actually do this. Okay, Leonardo AI is also there. Then I have some 10-15 tools in my bookmarks, and I'll be sharing you a few also. So where you can generate and text to image and image to text, and uh, basically they are AI tools. Okay. So next is the limitations. Basically, is it can be biased. That is always there with machine learning and deep learning, based on training data, right? If the training data is more towards biasness, even the outputs can be biased. Okay. And next is might have restrictions on generating certain type of content. Okay. For example, something on violence. I told something which is illegal, right? So it is restricted. So that is one biggest limitation. Now let us go to the very important concept, which is the which is the types of generative models. Okay, so there are different kinds of generative models in the present day world, right? And the three big ones basically are GANs, VAEs, and transformers. Okay, and I told transformers is what we are currently in the generation. So before transformers was actually launched, right, there was GANs and VAEs. Okay, 2014 I think GAN was launched, 2016 was VAE, and 2017 was transformer. But transformer has really transformed the generative AI. Okay, so that is what I use the sentence transformer technology or transformer architecture has really transformed the way generative AI is actually being looked, right? So that has actually changed. So the first one is the this was the I can say the foundation stone, which is the generative adversarial networks, which is the GANs. Okay, so GAN was actually found by Ian Goodfellow in 2014. Okay, and there are two networks. Okay, so this is actually a game. Okay, GAN is actually a game. Okay, and this is like a cat and mouse game. Okay, and in this cat and mouse game of GAN, there are two things. One is generator and one is discriminator. Okay, so the first part in detail I will tell you, but the work of generator is to generate the realistic content, and the work of discriminator is to discriminate the difference between real and fake images. So discriminating between real and fake and trying to create the realistic image is what the two things what are going to happen inside the game, inside the cat and mouse game of a GAN. Okay, so they really compete with each other because I told you, it's a game. So they try to compete with each other. It has been designed in such a way. Okay, now the applications are basically AI art creation. So you would have probably heard about deepfakes, right? So these are basically these deepfakes have been, the base for deepfakes have actually been launched in the field of, GANs only. So image to image translation, right? Now, to see or to understand what is in detail, you can just put it in the chat if you have any question. Instead of just raising the hand, please can you just put it in the chat? I can answer your question. Okay, because we are not communicating, uh, through voice. So it will be better if you just put the question in the chat. I'll definitely answer your question. Okay, I'm not going to skip any of the questions. I'm going to answer every question I have actually answered. Okay, please do that. Okay, yes, thank you so much. And to understand what is a GAN, okay, it is basically about two things I told you, right, which is the generator and the discriminator. So generator tries to create a fake images, like fake images, and discriminator tries to spot if the data is real or fake. So why it is creating? If it doesn't create, right, how the discriminator will know that what is real, what is not real? Understood now? So to understand, every day-to-day basis, I'll share it with the, I'll share it with XLR. Definitely, sir will upload this in your LMS. You can get it in the LMS. Okay, Harshita. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so please let me continue. We have so much to discuss for today. So keeping that in mind, especially, right? So what happens here in this case is it tries to identify the fake images. Okay, so it tries to create the fake images. Okay, and this discriminator should identify whether it is really a fake image or real, or it is really a real image. So it has to identify, or it has to really segregate between actually fake and real. Okay, so that is the tricky part for the discriminator. Okay, and the generator always tries to fool the discriminator. Okay, sir, why they are playing a game? A few people might get this doubt. Okay. Okay, so why they are playing a game? Okay, so they are playing a game to make you build a model in such a way that when you show a fake image, it should identify that it is a fake. That is why. So if they are trained properly only, no, you'll be able to, it will be able to identify that, oh, sir, what is the core concept of GANs as described in the presentation slide? Core GAN is a generative AI technology. It's an AI technology which is a framework for developing the generative AI. There are three frameworks, only three frameworks which are developed. Okay, one is GAN, one is VAE, one is transformer. All three we will discuss. Okay. Uh, okay. Now, so this is what is exactly. So if you are giving something right, uh, right? So I'll tell you one small example. I'll relate with you guys. Okay. You know, from your childhood, right, in your school days, school days, your teacher would have trained you that this is how a lion looks, this is how a tiger looks, this is how an elephant looks, this is how a cheetah looks or a leopard looks. Now, if you see a real one in your real life, if you go to a zoo or a national park, you're going to go and you're going to see a real animal, right? Now, if I ask a silly question that when you're seeing a lion, okay, how you're identifying that it is a lion? If I ask this, what you will say? Sir, we know, some people will answer like this. Sir, we know it is a lion. No, that is absolutely not true. You don't know that it is a lion. You have been trained. There is a model in your brain which knows that if something has a features like this is a lion. Because I'll tell you the difference. Okay, let us leave the line. Let us talk about an African elephant or an Asian elephant. Probably if you have never gone to Africa, you don't know what is an African elephant, right? You would have only seen Asian elephants in Asia. But if you have gone for a safari for South Africa or Kenya or Zimbabwe, any other country you would have gone, but still you are seeing an African elephant and identifying that it's an elephant. How you are identifying? But you have never learned about an African elephant in your life, no? How you are able to identify? We never identify as an animal. We only identify by features. That is only artificial intelligence also will do. I think now many people would have got clarity. That is only artificial intelligence will do. That is only your deep learning will do. It will build a model based on the features. That is only we are calling it as variables or independent variables. Okay, that is only we are calling it as features. It is going to be trained on the features which will identify. The same thing will happen with GAN also. It will try to create a fake images in such a way that the discriminator should be in a position, because the discriminator is capable. It's like you only. You are capable of identifying a real image and a fake image, no? Exactly, the discriminator will be able to identify the real and a fake because it has a model built in it. How you have a model in your brain. That is what the concept is. I think now many of you are very clear on this. Okay. See, artificial intelligence is nothing but replica of human brain only. So if you understand that basic concept as soon as possible, you will be catch holding of artificial intelligence very easily. Every concept is a replica. You will find an example which you can understand from your human brain. Every concept inside AI, generative AI or agentic AI, you can link it with your brain. You can take an example how your brain does, right? All these technologies or all these models, what we are building, this is made by human beings. This is made by human being. But your brain is made by God. The same, what God made in your human brain, you are trying to make it. You are trying to replicate or you are trying to replicate it through a machine. That is only artificial intelligence. So every concept, whatever you learn inside AI, is a replica of what happens in your brain. Just you have to link it to the right example. That's it only. That is why I have taken the example of how you go back to your school days learning about animals. I just took a very small example, so that you'll be able to figure it out. The same thing what you are identifying in your book, what you have studied in your book, what you are identifying, that is the same thing what GAN is doing. And we are calling it as one of the greatest generative AI techniques. Yes, this GAN model is only inside our brain. Okay, we have given the name as GAN. Okay, so this is the real thing. What is AI and what is human brain? It's exactly we are trying to replicate our human being through a machine. Through a machine. Yes. Okay. So next, I told you generator. So I think yeah, one sentence I just wanted to mention here. That's why I just put this slide. So these two networks or two neural networks basically are trying to play a cat and mouse game. Okay, so the generator is called as the forger and discriminator is called as the critic. Okay, I kind of like this word, the words. That's why only I put this slide also. These two are almost same actually. Okay, but still I just put it because to show you this difference. So a generator is basically called as a forger. People try to forge something, no? So they create fake, right? That is only forging. So it will try to create something which is forged, and this discriminator tries to identify that. So tries to identify if it is if it is a data is real or fake. So generator improves by learning to fool the discriminator. Discriminator improves by learning to better detect the fakes. I think now everything would have come to picture. So for this, they will try to generate a synthetic data. Synthetic data is nothing but it's a kind of realistic data which will link to the real data. Okay, which is actually not real, but it will really be linked to the real kind of data. That kind of data is called as a synthetic data. Okay. I think I have a question. Let me just check. Okay, attendance. What's the difference between machine learning and deep learning? Oh my god. Prem, already I told you, man. Machine learning method uses statistical methods. It is like one step above statistical learning. Okay, but deep learning methods are methods which use the technology of neurons which are present in the human brain. So deep learning is a concept on is actually a model or a concept which is built on neural networks, okay, or actual neurons. Okay, but machine learning are based upon mathematical and statistical formulation. In a simple terms, machine learning models are a combination of mathematics, statistics, and computer science. That's it only. Okay, so you remember when somebody says machine learning, just remember mathematics, statistics, and computer science, because what you see is this only. This only they have combined. Okay, because every algorithm is having a formulation. That formulation will be applied to data in the form of coding, which is programming. That is by computer science. So machine learning is basically a combination of mathematics, statistics, and computer science. And deep learning is a combination of mathematics, statistics, computer science, along with that neural networks also, or neurons. Everything clubbed again. Okay, that is only your deep learning. Okay. Okay. So it is like that. So sir, attendance में branch में क्या लिखना है? That I know. No, Christy. Please contact Amar sir only. He is there in the chat. You can just you have Amar sir under XLR Solutions. You can contact him. Okay. So anything which is relating to subject only, please ask me. Something which is different, like you didn't get the registered email ID, sorry, you didn't get the mail, you didn't get the, in even LMS also uploading, they will upload it. Okay, I'll share it with the team. Okay. So everything regarding that, you can contact attendance link, everything you can contact sir only. Okay. Anything which is relating to subject you want to discuss with me, please ask me. Okay, anything relating to subject, I will help you. Okay, sir, is that enough to post? I think it's only once Kusmita. Okay. Sir, is there a group of AI? Group means what group you want? Just let me finish this. Okay. So at least I just want to finish this. Okay. So now there is a one particular website which is created, which is giving all the fake images, which is that this person does not exist. Okay. So simple analogy: a forger tries to fake paintings, an art critic tries to spot the forgeries. Over time, the forger gets better at faking, the critic gets better at catching him. Okay, so that is what the mechanism is. Okay, So this is the images. Okay. Okay, let us do one thing since it is almost time. So I think you have understood what is this GAN. Okay, so we'll just see this image tomorrow. Okay, just image, and then we'll go to the impact of GANs in in the generative AI in the current world. Okay, how much impact there is there, how it is actually uh, happening, or what are the things which are happening. That we'll try to discuss. Okay. So any questions if you have, you can please ask me. I think so many questions are popping in. It will be shared. It will be shared in your LMS. The PPT will be shared to your LMS. Whether we are doing coding part, something like that, the Python files or any coding part, anything, whatever material I'm going to use, the PPTs, everything will be shared. Deal planning use only the unstructured. Not exactly correct, Harsh. It's not just unstructured data. Okay, that's not exactly true actually. Um, it's not exactly true. I'll answer your question again tomorrow. Yogesh, you can just put it in the chat. Uh, yeah, you will learn more. Don't worry. Just 2 hours. So 2 days, 4 days is only 4 hours is done. So we have 26 hours left. You will learn a lot. Okay, so trust me, just try to attend the session. You will be learning a lot of things. You will be getting a lot of hands-on also. You'll be learning that how things actually work inside agentic AI, generative AI agents, everything I'll teach you. Okay, there is a lot to learn, which is even our lifetime is not sufficient. So that much has already been developed. Okay, so in further classes, you're going to explain ML. Not really. I'm not going to explain any machine learning part here. Okay, I'll be taking ML as a reference if something comes up, but no, I'm not going to explain any machine learning. So you're expected to know a bit of ML actually for this session. So fine. If AI technology compete with us, then what will happen? That is not a question actually. It will not compete. Don't worry. Yeah, you can mark your attendance if you have not marked. Uh, Sir, we can wind up, sir. Is it useful for first days? Yes, it is useful, Manasvi. Yeah, Manasvi. Okay. Hmm.
एक मिनट. Hello. Yes, sir, sure.
Yes, sir. Your voice is a bit low, actually. Uh,
Oh, okay, no problem, sir. We'll wind up for the day. We'll
ah,
see. Sure.
done. Now clear, sir.
Yeah.
Fine, sir. Thank you.